This is Dan McDonald.
Oh my gosh.
What's up? Is this Brooke?
This is it. Was it Cartwheels Naked that got you to call me?
Naked cartwheels is a practice that I try to involve myself in as much as possible.
At least once a day.
I just thought that there might be something I could do or say to help you here. I'm not sure.
I really appreciate it. I just went to the health food store and got a ton of greens, and I'm just sort of winging it, and I just don't know what to do. And I would take any. I have a trampoline, and I heard about rebounding, and I was Googling, and I needed to know exercises. I just started what are rebounding exercises, and I got video of you and your friend in Santa Monica, and her little thing on the back porch, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Who is he?
Well, thanks, Brooke. Well, it sounds like the message sounded pretty desperate, but it sounds like at least you've got your spirits with you.
I'm trying. I'm sort of I would say it's been about 5 days I haven't cried, which is good. Other than that, it was pretty much I was in bed and just hysterical over what's going on with my eyesight, what's going on with my pain, and your video really helped me a lot, and your spirits, and I just sort of go, okay, I can either just succumb and cry and be upset, or I can try and get my mental outlook to be a little bit better, which might help my physical,
Well, Brooke, if it's any consolation, I spent the morning crying myself. But for me, it's part of a healing process. I like to cry, so don't feel like you got to stop crying. It's actually the removal of a lot of kind of crusty emotions a lot of times. So crying is actually really good in the healing process, especially if you're dealing with something with your eyes. But tell me a little bit about how old are you, Brooke? Can I ask?
I'm 33.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry to tell you, I was wondering, can we make a video of this? We might be able to help some people.
Sure, yeah.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Because I have to.
How would you want to do that?
Well, I would just push the record button.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Brooke, because I need to consolidate my time and to.
Absolutely.
These are the best. So let's see if we can spend about 15 or 20 minutes and see if there's something we can do to help you with your eyesight. Is there anything else going on in your life?
Emotionally, or
is it
like
just?
In what way?
Is it really
Physically?
Is it really just the eyes that are bothering you?
It's literally just localized to my eyes, and in my face I feel a pulling pressure, like my cheeks are being pulled down to the floor, and like pressure and pain around the eyes. I've had no prior medical history, no prior medical problems. I had 2 natural childbirths. I hardly ever took drugs. Exercise, not so much. Ate okay, don't do drugs, don't do alcohol. And, it just all came on 6 months ago. I took my contacts out the night. My left eye got really red. I put a steroid antibiotic drop in that I had, and from that point forward, it went downhill. So I don't know if I had a bad allergic reaction to the drop, or if whatever got in my eye was some infection. But the redness went away the next day. It's just when I blinked, I felt a heaviness on my eyelid, and about 2 weeks after that, I felt like a pulling pressure down my face. And then I felt like the whole left side of my face was just swollen. It didn't look swollen. It just felt swollen and pressure and heavy, and my eyes got dry. And then it switched to the right side 2 months later. And when it switched, I got astigmatism. I already wear corrective lenses or glasses. But it did affect my vision when it switched to the right side. And then now it's on both sides, and it just seems like it's progressively getting worse. Like, my night vision's awful. I have so many floaters, it's hard to see through. I see white lines and white spots. I have still a lot of pain and pressure around the face and the eyes. And I've been to 20 doctors. I'm about 20 grand in debt. I've had MRIs, CAT scans. No one can find anything wrong with me. Nothing. And I'm like, well, I don't know what do I do at this point? I went to a neurologist. He injected some Botox, telling me I had chronic migraine in my eyes and in my head, but that doesn't make sense to me, because then what's the migraine coming from,
Interesting.
And pain relievers do not help. It's not like I can take an Advil or something. It's just seems to be unaffected by it. And then I started Googling and researching, exercising and juicing and maybe trying to find other means or methods of getting my body to start repairing itself or fixing itself if it can somehow. I lost a bit of weight. I'm like 5'6", and I weigh about 112, so everyone thinks I'm anorexic and thin, but I've just been cutting out the wheat and the dairy and the sugar for the last 4 months, thinking that might help, and been juicing, and I've been eating a lot of less meats and more greens, and so, you don't gain a lot of weight when you're having that kind of lifestyle,
That's right.
And I didn't know if I should juice fast or if I should. I'm eating goji berries. I'm taking bilberry complex. I'm juicing ginger and beets and roots and greens, and not consistently, like once a day, sometimes twice a day. Sometimes I'll skip a day or two. But I'm willing and just searching. Like I would be dedicated and go down a path of lifestyle change if I just don't know what to do to change it, and I'm just desperate for help. Seems like the medicos doesn't have a clue what to do,
No, they don't. You've got some subtle inflammation. That's what's coming to me right away. But I want to ask you some questions first.
Okay, what was it that you said that came to you right away?
Well, you've got some inflammation in your body.
And that is something that people have said, that there is inflammation kind of consistently, that there is inflammation. That is correct, yeah.
But what they don't know is how to remove the inflammation, which after a lifetime of buildup, which leads to my next question. Can I ask you how old you are, Brooke?
I'm 33.
Okay, you're at that age where the body's hormone and endocrine system begins to fade if we're not consciously living according to the laws of nature. So the inflammation builds up, and the inflammation usually comes from, like you said, the wheat, the dairy, and the meat, and of course all the other foods that society sells us and tells us are healthy. But they leave behind so much metabolic buildup that it begins to obstruct different areas within the human body. With your system, it happens to be the eyes. How about your mom and your dad? Do they have eye issues?
No.
Okay. And I got another question for you then. When you took that antibiotic for your eyes, had you used that before?
Yes.
Many times?
No, just once I had an eye scratch because I wore contacts and I scratched my eye with them, and they had me using them for 6 days or a week, and it cleared up the scratch, and then I had them around in my house, and when I took my contacts out, I used it again because my eye got really, really red, and I thought maybe I had another scratch, and it wasn't expired. I used it maybe 6 months prior, but, I'm thinking maybe I just had a bad reaction to it, or I don't know.
Okay, so 6 months before you used the antibiotic for a scratch. Was it a physical scratch on your eye?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
like, I see. So you scratched the cornea.
I think it was like above in the part of the white part of the eye, like under the eyelid.
Okay, got it. And then, so was there visible redness?
Yeah, this is the first time I scratched my eye. Like, I woke up and my eye was puffy and red and sensitive, and I went to the eye doctor. He said, oh, you've abused your contacts, you haven't taken them out and let your eyes breathe enough, and take these drops and wear glasses for a month and whatever. And then I did that, and everything, within a few days of using the drops, the eye went back to normal. And then 6-7 months later, wearing contacts again, not as much. I was going to bed, I took them out, and my left eye, once I took the contact out, the whole eye just got flaming red, and I freaked out again, thinking, oh God, did I scratch my eye again? So I used that drop that I still had, and it cleared up the redness of the eye. But then the next day when I woke up, I felt a heaviness on my eyelid when I blinked, and then it went downhill from there.
Yes, because here's the secret. Antibiotics suppress nature's desire to heal the body in the natural way. So what we do is we get some kind of pneumonia, right? And then we take antibiotics. Well, guess what that does? That just shoves the toxicity that the body's trying to release deeper into the cells and tissues. So when you put that on your eye, you didn't really heal the scratch. You just suppressed the healing of the body. So my guess would be that perhaps your body is now trying to heal that original scratch. But with the antibiotics, you just press it deeper down into the system and you cover over the healing of the body, which can be, healing of the body can be unpleasant, but at least it's thorough and permanent. And in our society, we suppress what we call sickness because your little baby gets a sniffly nose, you give them Tylenol, but guess what that does? That shoves the mucus deeper back down into the body, creating chronic conditions. So we take acute conditions, use antibiotics, and over time they become chronic. So what you're having here is a chronic reaction with your eyes.
Right.
So now, I want to know, like, what has your diet been like for the last 33 years? Just a rough...
You know, not great. I mean, you know, salads here and there, but like, you know, I'll have pizza for dinner or a lot of Starbucks Frappuccinos or not a lot of water. You know, have coffee in the morning, not eat till 2, you know. But, you know, make healthy, you know, but also on the flip side of that too, very into health food store and eating. I would eat a lot of lean ground turkey and make salads and brown rice, you know, for dinners, tofu stir fries. I love to cook and bake, so I would, you know, I try and do everything organic. Not huge on vegetables, some fruit. Maybe I'd skip a day. There'd be a day or two I wouldn't even have a vegetable, but then I'd make it up for it the next day, you know. So not terrible. I don't eat fast food. I don't drink soda. You know, I was definitely drinking a lot of iced teas and coffees, and, you know, I'd have pastries or sweets whenever I wanted, or ice cream, you know, occasionally. So sugar was a little high, and not focusing much on greens or fruits, you know,
so
that extensively.
How many of my videos have you seen?
I think I've seen 2 or 3 now.
Okay, so how much do you know about the raw living food?
I don't know a ton about it. I know a little bit, but I tried to look on the website sort of how to get a synopsis of like how to make that change or how to eat that way, and I didn't quite know where to go or what to do. I'm a little bit confused.
Are you aware of my DVDs, Brooke?
Yes.
Okay, well those might be helpful. But I'm also going to encourage you to watch some more of my videos. There's lots of different types of information, but here's the real, you know, synopsis is that cooked food is sort of damaged and is very difficult for the body to process, utilize, assimilate, and then of course the main thing is the elimination. And once we accumulate metabolic wastes about our age, you know, 30, 33, 35, we begin to see the manifestation of the inability of the body to release the metabolic buildup, and then it manifests itself as health issues. So what you're going to need to do to regenerate your eyes and release the inflammation is what's called the raw living food diet. And what we do is we eat fruits and vegetables with the emphasis on where you're at right now. It sounds like you're not like, you know, real toxic or major buildup, just you've got the basic stuff going on. So it's no big deal, but you're going to want to learn as much as you can about raw foods, which is fruits and leafy green herbs particularly are the 2 best foods for humans. And then you're going to... Fruits and herbs like lettuce and spinach and basil and dill and celery and, you know, what else? Spinach, arugula, dandelions, cabbage, all those different types of things. Those are the balancers and the blood cleaners and the tissue regenerators and the alkalizers. And then the fruit helps to give you the energy you need for the sugars, for the cell function. Every cell runs on sugar. And so obviously you've had issues with, I mean, the ice cream and the pastries and the coffee. Those types of things are going to cause kind of a cellular weakness due to overstimulation of the cells by those types of foods. So now you want to start to nourish and heal the cells in your body, to strengthen your body as a whole, so that it can begin to heal and regenerate specific localized issues like your eyeballs. So really what you need to do is create a comprehensive life change program right now. I'm trying to turn as many people as I can onto the raw living foods because of the profound changes it's brought to me in my life. And so,
did it help you with health issues? Did you have health issues that it helped with?
I had mental health issues, and most of my stuff is up in my head and emotional. I never got overweight. I never was, had a diagnosable like illness. I caught myself way before that and started the raw living foods 11 years ago, and particularly in the last week, and I want to share this with my viewers too, and as well as you, Brooke, I have really cleaned up my diet. And now I'm eating coconut water with E3 Live for breakfast, orange juice and Asian pears for lunch, and then last night I had a salad with lettuce, tomato, sprouts, orange juice, and dill. And even the salad was a little bit heavy, but can you hear how clean that eating is?
Yeah.
And that makes
what is B3 Live? Is that an algae?
That's a blue-green algae, yeah, that just came back into my life recently, and I'm really glad that it did. My friend Julie's drinking some right now. She loves the profound changes. It's really good to help to balance the brain chemistry. Anyways, the most important thing is to eat living, raw, fresh foods. You're going to want to think about colonics. Have you ever heard of that or tried it before?
Yeah.
You've heard of it?
I haven't had them, but I've heard of them, yeah.
Okay, you may want to try a few of those. That can accelerate the release of a lot of metabolic buildup and help open up and start moving the lymph system. You've got issues in your upper thoracic area, so you may want to try anything like the rebounding will be good. The fruit diet to start loosening up the lymph. Grapes are particularly good to start loosening up the lymph in the upper thoracic area. You may want to try some lymphatic massage. Have you tried that?
Massage?
Have you tried that?
I've had like one or two of them, yeah.
Okay.
Not much.
I get a massage every single day from a professional massage therapist, and it's changed my life dramatically, especially if you can find someone to do the emotional release work. I don't know about your past, and we probably won't be able to get into that too much, but
right.
it's
been an emotional year for sure. I mean, with the separation, I basically was in tears for 6 months prior to all of this starting.
Separation.
It definitely was.
Okay, so you have a separation. That's enough for me to know from your husband.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you've got, Brooke, is the stress has compounded, and this is the number one thing that's coming to me for everyone, and it's the number one thing that I've done in my life, which I have to continue to do, even though I'm a YouTuber, and that is to release all forms of possible stress,
right.
and work on our emotional.
Very hard to do that.
Yes, it is, but it's going to be absolutely mandatory, and that's why we have to cultivate faith, and that's why we have to become our own best friend and learn to love our own personal life, because we're the only one that has to wake up and live in our body and look at ourselves in the mirror. We have a lot of different relationships, but the best and most important is the one that we have with ourselves. And so you're going to have to start working on that, because that's going to help to alleviate some of the stress that may be compounding this problem, because when you get stressed, the adrenals are overworked, and then the adrenals and the sympathetic nervous system sort of shut off the digestion. It also shuts off the release of metabolic waste. So stress basically clogs up the body. So we got to learn to relax, fall in love with ourselves again, fall in love with life again. No matter what's going on, we've got to find the faith to fall in love with our lives again. Even the challenges, even the heartbreaks, we have to learn to love those as part of the human experience. And that energy really grows within us and begins to heal us. Love heals us. So you have to start to learn to love yourself, regardless of, even if your life partner who's been there for you and has been a source of that is temporarily gone or gone for good or whatever. We really can't get into that right now, but we can fall back in love with ourselves. And unconditional love is the healing power that heals up eyes, cancer, chronic issues of all types. So, does that make sense?
Okay. Completely, yeah. So I'll have to work on that. It's challenging, but yeah, no, and it doesn't help that the stress over what's going on with my eyes is almost like a double-edged sword. Like, I feel like if then I could be out of pain and the symptoms would subside, and I would be less stressed about what's going on with me, and am I going to get better? And you know what I mean?
You will get better, Brooke. You will get better. Learn about the raw vegan way. And here's some things I want you to... I'm going to sum up the video real quick, and then if you have anything you want to talk about at the end. But this is what I would help to sum up to help you. I would begin get as raw living foods, fruits, and herbs as you can, diet. And then practice the stress reduction techniques. There's something called the ISON method, I-S-O-N. You might want to Google that.
Okay.
And he has a great pain relief program. But there's hundreds of stress reduction, stress relief, chronic pain relief programs that have brought immense benefit into my life recently. And I listen to those as often as possible. And basically, as you learn to relax, as you're laying there or sitting there, your body begins to heal itself, because when the sympathetic nervous system is on fight or flight, no healing can take place. But when we relax and the parasympathetic nervous system takes over, we relax, hormones are produced, healing chemicals, dopamine, serotonin are produced. Classical music might help you. Massage will help you. The raw living foods will help you. I would also highly recommend that you, Brooke, and everyone else out there watching, learn about the power of water fasting and the small incremental water fasting. You only do a 24-hour water fast at first to try. Then you move it to 36 hours. Then you can try for 3 days. It's helpful to try juice fasting or mono fruit diets as well. So I'm kind of talking to you, Brooke, as well as all my YouTube viewers. So it might sound like I'm talking to you like you're an alien or something. But
I get it. Yeah.
This is really great opportunity for people, because it's all the same. Either the body is healing itself or it's breaking down. And we want to cultivate a lifestyle that allows the body to continually heal itself, so that any issue, chronic, acute, can be absolved through the processes which I just spoke about.
Okay.
Is there anything else, Brooke? Does this seem like at least it's going to be a stepping stone for you?
Yeah, I think so. It definitely puts me in a good direction. I have to learn about more on that raw diet, and I've thought about fasting. What are your thoughts on, I wouldn't want to lose any more weight?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Brooke. You might lose some more weight, because as the body tries to eliminate the gluten and the ice cream residue and the coffee residues, which kind of become like a dried mucus throughout the whole pipe system, you're going to want to dissolve that so that the blood can flow. We're all working on purifying our blood with wheatgrass, kale juice, carrot juice is good for the blood. Cherries and grapes are good for building the blood, as well as oxygen and sunlight. So we want to start cleaning and purifying our blood, so that that blood becomes a dissolver of the accumulated waste, which is causing, or is at least the underlying foundation for our health problems. In your case, like you said, it's localized in the eyes. So you're going to want to purify the blood dissolve these wastes, and slowly but surely over the course of, depending upon your genetics, you know, over the course of 6 months, might take a year or two to totally and completely heal and regenerate your body. But then, if you learn this lifestyle now, you're looking at a good, you know, 70 to 90 more good years, you know, of life, of healthy living. Raw living foods is the way.
And, okay, it's inspiring. And how, you know, sometimes you want to talk to certain people, and I know you can't be there for everybody, and I understand that, and you have a lot of people, from what I can see, you know, following, looking up to you, and for me, sometimes I have questions like, when would you start a fast and how long? And just to have another person out there to bounce things off of or get ideas of, or just to be a sort of a mentor or a guide or you know, what would you recommend on that as far as having that guidance and how to get sort of an idea of what's right for you in your situation? You know, like
well, that's,
like, I don't know,
that's very interesting.
And then a week, month from now, do a water fast, or just do a juice fast for a week, or, you know, like, how do you learn, or how did you learn, or how would I learn, what the best next steps are for me?
Well, it's really about education. You know what I would do? The number one thing I could say to you, Brooke, is to make health your new hobby. Because in this world, it has to be a hobby, because there is so much powers of the darkness that want to drag us down and use us as little guinea pigs and run on their little guinea pig wheel, that the world is a sick, broken down place because the institutions suppress all the knowledge. But there are books out there by laymen. Here's some titles of people, and you can watch this video later, Brooke. Paul Bragg, Arnold Ehret, Robert Morse, Gabriel Cousins, Doug Graham, who else? Norman Walker. It's just some of the old schoolers, you know. And
yeah, I know Norman Walker. Mm-hmm.
Norman Walker was a champion. I love his stuff. And everyone's got a different opinion. Everyone sells a little bit different supplements. But on one thing we agree on is that health is really cool. And that's where we need to start coming together, is that we're not here to argue over a few little tiny things, but we're here to just help each other to make health consciousness more readily available. So you have to educate yourself now, Brooke, and get as many ideas from these men. I have accumulated ideas from hundreds of authors and have read thousands of books. And I have my own program. You have to experiment and practice and do what works for you. But one thing's for sure, and that is a very high raw food diet is extremely beneficial for the human organism and healing. And then, Brooke, you may want to think about, just try juice fasting for one day. You know, drink anywhere from 2 to 6 jars of juice. And just try it for one day and see what you can learn from it. You might get to the evening time and be freaking out and be like, you realize you're like addicted to food. And then you'll have all these revelations and go, oh my God, I'm addicted to like whatever, brown rice or something, or baked potatoes that you never even knew before, because now you're trying this new thing like one day juice fast. Tomorrow I'm going to juice fast for 36 hours. And then it's not about the juice fast, but it's about all the things that you learn about yourself when you set some kind of intention like this. So I would try like a one-day juice diet and drink as much juice as you want of any kind. But remember, the more simple, the better. I'm like almost a total mono eater now. That salad I had last night was like too heavy. It made me feel like I wasn't spiritual anymore. It was weird. Now lettuce is too much. So when you get to a very high level of vibrational frequency, then you like all you can eat is like Asian pears, watermelons, grapes, and you have to like juice your greens because they're just too heavy in your stomach while you're going through the process of healing your nervous system, healing your endocrine glands. It's a beautiful thing, Brooke. It's an honor to share with you today. Obviously, I can't go over every single thing, but I think we hit some of the basics, and that's going to be the stress has got to be eliminated as much as possible. The emotional work, talk to a friend. Find somebody to talk to get your emotions out. And cry. Cry, cry, cry. Crying is the #1 healer of the emotions that there is. So cry it out. Is there anything else, Brooke?
Are you big on nuts and seeds?
If I was a bodybuilder, yes, and I do plan on bodybuilding again. Right now, I wouldn't recommend that you use the nuts and seeds. They're also good during the winter time. And if you're going to use them, I would mix them with greens. The greens tend to neutralize the excessive amounts of acid. Always soak your nuts and seeds. It's always good to eat nuts and seeds with greens to neutralize the acid waste and help with absorbability. And one of the best ways to consume nuts and seeds is in the form of nut and seed milk. Or you can make seed and nut cheeses with the probiotics, which I never have gotten around to making a video about that because I've just been off the nuts for so long now, because I'm in a process of healing and regenerating my brain. I had quite a bit of trauma as a child, and healing the body is fairly easy. Healing the mind takes some work. Healing the neurons in your brain and creating new neurons so that you can have a new, better perception on life, which helps with your emotions. So, but the raw living foods, the stress reduction, the meditation, the breath work, the rebounding, the yoga, all of these things are great adjuncts to a life regeneration program. We all need it. Every human I've ever met on this planet needs these things.
Okay, great. Well, that helps a lot. Definitely puts me in a good direction, and I'll looking at those DVDs to get more educated and some of those authors, and I'll just start working on it. I have a good juicer, and I have a health food store locally, and I'll just start pounding away at some of these things. Hopefully, make a difference.
I would recommend lots of green juices and mono fruit meals. You know, like 6 or 8 Asian pears is a meal for me. You sound like a smaller woman, so you might be able to eat like 2 to 4 Asian pears and call that a meal. They're in season right now. Oranges, you know, eat 2 to 4 to 6 oranges, you know, as a meal.
And I get pressure from my family to eat cheeseburgers and pizza because they want me to gain weight, and they feel like my body is lacking carbohydrates, and that's part of my problem.
It's the wrong type of carbohydrates. The simple sugars and fruits and vegetables are the foods that resonate at the highest vibration with the cells and atoms within a human body. So fruits and leafy green herbs, it's going to be hard. We always have pressure from our family because there's the amount of ignorance regarding human health is about 99% ignorance, 1% knowledge of raw living foods, endocrinology, cell function, because it's all bought and paid for by the industries that are selling us these foods that make us sick. So we need to re-educate with fasting, raw foods, relaxation, meditation, and we have to continue to educate ourselves in what real health is. So as your endocrine glands become healthier, Brooke, you will start to naturally put on weight through the process of the release of human growth hormone. One thing that produces human growth hormone faster than anything else, well, there's 2 things. One is bodybuilding, produces human growth hormone. The other one is water fasting. Water fasting for 3 days or more activates the human growth hormone, and then we put on natural healthy weight. But we have to remember, human beings are almost all overweight and bloated and pussy and filled with mucus. Even these young, healthy guys, it's going to get caught up with them. They have bloated, pus-filled, water-filled, mucus muscles. And so they look at someone like me and they're like, dude, you're too skinny. And that's not true. They are just, humans are overweight. We are cerebral animals. So don't worry about your weight. I know that it's tough because I was teased my whole life, bird chest, toothpick man, and it's something that's hard to accept. Even to this day, I struggle with it. But I know which direction I'm going, and I am going to, in the long run, I am going to win. If my plan works out, I will win in the long run, and I will watch my friends and family members who do not eat this way pass on in pain, and I will be continually growing younger and healthier and more vibrant and happier as I continue to be such a weirdo with all these raw foods, fasting, detox, and cellular regeneration. Can you dig it, baby?
I agree. How often do you fast?
Well, I'm going in for a 21-day water fast January 2nd.
Oh my gosh.
I like to fast.
Days.
What's that?
You're doing it for 21 days?
Well, I'm at a pretty high level of health. I've been eating
Right.
fruits and vegetables for 11 years. I've been mono fruit diet and green juicing for about the last 3 weeks. So
Wow.
my body is really clean. I can't even eat lettuce without feeling like I just ate a bowl of rocks. So I'm at a real high level of vibration. You want to work your way up to that real slowly and steadily with colonics and the fruit diet. You may want to keep steamed vegetables on the background in case things start to get a little too intense. You bring a little steamed vegetables, some steamed beets, steamed carrots, steamed broccoli to slow down the detox process, because the fruits and the green juices loosen up the metabolic wastes quite rapidly. So it's helpful to remember that things like citrus juices dissolve the accumulated metabolic waste, which is usually in the form of some type of pasty mucus. Remember paper mache in high school or elementary? Yeah. That's from wheat gluten right there, okay? You can also take egg whites and you can glue stuff to the wall with egg whites. So there's a lot of things, and the casein from milk also is used as a glue. All these things are used as glues to glue up pictures, and use glue in elementary school to paste stuff. And that's the stuff that we eat every day. And we wonder why our endocrine glands shut down, our digestion shuts down, our utilization of nutrients is inhibited because we have a crusty layer of mucus all through our GI tract. That's why fruits and herbs are the best foods for mankind. So,
okay. And how do you balance fruit or vegetables throughout the day? You just judge what your body needs and wants based on how you feel?
Here's probably what I'll do today, which I've been doing every day, and I find what works. I wake up in the morning. I think it's about 10 o'clock now or something? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to have a jar, probably 1 or 2 32-ounce jars of coconut water with E3 Live blue-green algae, which just sets my head right for the day. And then after that, then I'm going to go to the farmer's market and get grapes for tomorrow's grape fast. But then for lunch, I'll probably have maybe 32 or 64 ounces of orange juice. And then tonight, I plan on also getting some stuff at the farmer's market to have a green juice, which will probably be something like kale, dill, celery, cucumber, spinach, and maybe a couple other fresh greens that I find at the market this morning. And then that'll be it. I'll have anywhere from 3 to 6 jars of juice today, and that'll prepare me for tomorrow to do a grape fast. I'll just eat probably 5 or 8 pounds of grapes. I'm a little bit strange. I'm definitely at the higher echelons of this. This isn't going to be for everyone, because they're going to loosen up so much stuff so fast that it's going to be uncomfortable and dangerous. It can be uncomfortable and dangerous. So you want to go slow and steady. But not to say, you can hit this hard though, but just be prepared to find a colon hydrotherapist, because when that stuff's coming out of you too fast and you get a headache, if you go in and get a colonic, it'll help to remove that. A lot of headaches are caused by metabolic waste in the colon. Not too many people know that, but that's why when you have a headache, first thing you go do is take an enema. I've seen this a million times with people. I go with people, they're like, I have a headache. I'm like, okay, I'm about to get real up close and personal with DTM here, and I shove a hose up my butt, and I show them how to do it, and they're like, wow, I've never had an enema. And then they take an enema, half an hour later their headache is gone, and they thank me for the rest of their lives. They go to and they go get an enema bag and they use it for the rest of their lives because they know now that the toxic accumulations in the colon equals headaches, you know? So,
wow.
And you don't want that stuff reabsorbing back into the bloodstream through the colon. So keep your colon clean and keep your whole GI tract clean.
If one can't afford colonics, are enemas a good substitute?
Enemas enemas only get really up into the descending colon, and sometimes you can, if you can really learn how to work it, you can get it over into the transverse. And I'm a professional. I've done this a lot. I can even get water all the way over to my ileocecal valve. You know, I can get water all the way over to the ascending colon, but it's really challenging for most people to spend that much time working the water. But at least to remove the pressure from the descending colon, it'll help to move everything else up and out and move it over through the transverse colon down into the descending colon, and then you can take another enema 8 hours later, and you can keep on flushing it out. Because now animals in nature do not use, well, some animals do actually, storks do, different animals that do use water to clean out their colon. But so it's not the most natural thing, but neither is Starbucks coffee, gluten, cooked dairy products, and ice cream doesn't grow on trees either. So we're using one sort of unnatural thing to balance out a million other unnatural things we do.
Right.
So
and quickly your views on carrot juice, because I know you're big on green drinks. Do you think it's too much sugar, or are you?
I don't think it's too much sugar, because when I was broke and I was trying to be raw, I lived on carrot juice, because you can get a 15-pound bag of carrots for like $10. Or those 25-pound bags of carrots, and you can get like 6 or 8 jars of juice for like $15. So I'm all about carrot juice, and if you can throw some parsley in there, then all the better. And carrot apple ginger juice has healed many of broken bodies. So, but I love carrot juice, and it's really good. Half carrot, half celery is really good.
Okay, great.
Those juices will cleanse and heal and dissolve. And the beauty about carrot and celery juice is it's cleansing, soothing, and energizing and healing, but it's not too aggressive. Like orange juice is like aggressive. Grape juice is really aggressive. It'll start moving stuff, sometimes for most people, too rapidly. So
when you say grape and orange juice, are you making that fresh, or do you?
Oh, always fresh. I always drink fresh juice. Fresh. Enzyme activated fresh juice. Always.
Got it. Okay.
I love the juicing habit. The juicing habit, the raw food habit, the health hobby. Make health, detoxification, and spiritual regeneration your hobby. Be your best. Bring light into this world. Bring the truth about how healthy and happy we can be into this world for all of our sakes.
Okay, I have my job cut out for me. I think I have more of an idea of what to do. I really appreciate you taking the time to
been my pleasure.
About all of this, get me more educated on it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so do you have my number there?
Yes, I have this number. Is this a way to reach you if needed?
Yeah, if there's an emergency, you can call me, and texting is best. Usually it takes me anywhere from 1 to 5 days to get back to people, but eventually I will get back to you if there's an emergency especially. But I think you're real smart, Brooke, and I think that we covered the basics today, and this should keep you busy for a year or two at least.
Yeah, there's no quick fix. Unfortunately, I found that out the hard way. After going from doctor to doctor and trying this and that, I ended up saying, forget it. I have to actually take this into my own hands and start getting educated and figuring out how to make myself healthier, because this isn't working. My purse was starting to get filled with orange prescription bottles, and I was feeling worse and worse and going downward. And I'm like, something has to change. I feel like I'm dying. I literally thought I was going to lose my 2- and 5-year-olds. Thought my vision's going to go, and I don't know how to stop it. And I'm totally out of effect, and just sobbing over that every day. And your video definitely inspired me. So I'm going to work on this and try and get more educated and juice and eat fruits and raw foods. And lastly, I guess my last question would be, I have probably about 400 bottles of vitamin supplements from all the different nutritionists who've muscle tested me, telling me I had mold or fungus or yeast. What are your thoughts on taking or fish oil for the dry eyes that I have that are excruciatingly painful? You know, I've been told to take 4,000 milligrams of fish oil. What are your views on supplementing as well as eating the raw diet?
I think that the basics is basically the issue here is that we're obstructed. So obstructing our body with more fish oil or all kinds of different isolated supplements is not really going to help us that much, because it's really the obstructions that are in the way. That's why we want to adopt this cleansing food diet lifestyle, so that we can begin to remove and dissolve and neutralize those acid wastes, carry them out of the body, and get them out of the way of the blood flow, the nerve flow, and the lymph flow. So I'm not really huge on isolated supplements. There are some whole food supplements that are okay, but right now what you really need to do is cleanse and energize, and that comes because the fruit vibrates the highest. The atoms spin at a higher rate within the fruit, tree fruits. And that'll get your atoms in your body spinning at a higher frequency, which allows the body to begin to throw off all of those heavier, denser vibrations. So really it's a matter of the energetics of frequencies and vibrations. So the fruit vibrates the highest, and that just starts to begin to eliminate all the obstructive, heavier, denser energies and emotions that you're going through. So be prepared to process emotions as well in this process. Okay. Second highest vibration is the leafy green herbs in season. Wheatgrass is particularly highly vibrational because it's still alive. Sprouts have a lot of that living vibrational energy as well. I like to juice the greens and eat the fruits whole. That's kind of my little mantra is eat your fruits whole and drink your leafy green vegetable juices.
Okay.
So
okay, good.
Really the best thing to do is to simplify your diet as much as possible. I don't like to consume too many things. But there are some supplements, because of the nature of the lifestyle that we've lived. We've abused ourselves so long. There's neurological weaknesses. There's endocrinological weaknesses. I mean, sometimes we have to use a bovine source of thyroid to keep people alive. And then the high raw vegans, they're like, you can't use animal supplementation. But if we take the bovine source of thyroid from a cow and we give it to a human being, and the human being stays alive long enough for us to treat them and cleanse their thyroid so that their own thyroid begins to produce its own hormones. So there's a lot here to be learned, and we have to keep our minds open. So there are supplements that are useful, so I'm not anti-supplement, but most of the time you go to this doctor, you go to that doctor, then you have a suitcase full of supplements, and the one thing he forgot to tell you is that fruits and vegetables are the food for mankind. Okay? And the medical pills, I think, are good for emergencies, but all they do is suppress symptoms. What we're trying to do, we're actually trying to make ourselves sick. We're actually trying to get the cough, the fever, the runny nose. We want that. If you want to get healthy, you got to go get sick. So when your nose is running and you have a cough, do not suppress it with Tylenol or NyQuil. Get sick, take a few days off from work, and clean the mucus, pus, viruses, and bacteria out of your body. It's awesome. This is so awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. My kids are sick right now with colds, so I'm going to pump them with juices and fruits.
Amen.
You know, rather than eating the yogurts and the bagels and cream cheese.
Oh, no.
Up, you know?
Never yogurt when sick, never bagels when sick, never cream cheese, always orange juice, water, watermelon juice, grapes, you know, because especially orange juice, when kids are sick with the sniffles, Give them the OJ for sure.
Yeah.
And let them just put them in bed, put on some cartoons, and let them rest. Get them some coloring books, but just let them rest and feed them the fresh fruits when they have the colds.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I have your number in case I have some desperate urgency, and I'll just, do you know how long it usually starts to you notice a difference? Like right now, I feel like as far as my health, I haven't halted it yet. I feel like I'm just on a downward path, like it's getting worse. Like my night vision last night was worse than it ever has been. And so, I'm already eating pretty healthy. I don't eat much meat right now. I'm doing a lot of fruits and veggies. But do you have an idea of how long until you start to see? Everybody's probably different.
Everybody's different. Most people will feel instantaneously better when they stop eating cooked foods today and eat a salad. But sometimes you also start to detox right away, so you feel worse, and then you blame the raw foods. So you can't blame the raw foods because your body's toxic. So because we are addicted, strung out. Then you eat a cheeseburger and you go, I feel better all of a sudden. Cheeseburgers must be a health food. What the cheeseburgers do is stop the detox. So it really just depends on the level of toxicity that you're experiencing. But I will say, generally, most people can expect to feel an overall general sense of well-being and see some of their symptoms alleviated within about 3 weeks. There was a lady that couldn't walk. For 2 years, she couldn't even walk. After 3 weeks on green juices, she's up and out and everything. She's totally well. Because people eat cooked dead food all their lives, and then all of a sudden when they start eating living, high vibrational foods that energize cells, their body comes back to life. Their brain comes back to life. We want to get off stimulants and onto nourishments. Okay? Oh, I lost her. Hey, this is Dan.
Hey, we got cut off.
Okay, cool. So just to sum that up, I said we want to get off stimulants and onto nourishments. Yeah. You're going to have to watch the video to catch that part because it was the summation of this whole video. So I'll post this up today, Brooke, and then you can have your kids watch it.
Yeah.
And I'll say, kids, yo, eat the fresh fruits and vegetables because you're more healthier, you have more energy, you do better in school, you feel a lot better, you're a lot happier, you're more beautiful, you won't get fat, you'll have better athletic performance, you'll do better at your schoolwork, you'll be a better actor or actress, you'll be better at cross country, you'll be able to jump higher, run farther. Your life will be a lot better if you eat your fruits and vegetables. That was for your kids, Brooke.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Cool. Thanks for watching this video in its entirety if you made it this far. I sure appreciate your time. And it's a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be of service in this way. So thank you very much. I hope that you all learned something from this video. I intend to continue to serve, and as you detox, remember, my faith is always being tested because the old doubts and fears that are encrusted in the mind as the mind is regenerating come into the bloodstream and pump through the heart. And then if you're on YouTube or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, and there are those that would criticize you, it can be very challenging. So you must remember to fall back on faith. You have to keep going in spite of attacks upon your character for your choices that you make in your life. So have faith in the Almighty God, because that is the rock and the foundation upon which all truth stands. So thank you very much. Peace be with you. Make health your hobby. Alkalize, detoxify, regenerate, baby.